Hello, folks. Lindsey Huddleston back at you again with Lance Boogie Monroe Jr. here at the Horatio Williams 9th Annual Freedom Fun Classic. I have a good friend and a great official here, Mr. Claude Wiley, who's going to be sharing some of his insight. I've been an official here with Michigan High Schools Athletic Association for some 20-plus years, starting way back in 1992. And one of the last of the Mohicans, man, who's still around. Still out here dealing with this different generation of athlete, and you can even say different generation of parent when you talk about what's happening with the games. And I know that you guys are really big on recruiting. And also joined by Lance, former college player at Lake Superior State. So, Claude, you just really want to get your feedback on the state of the game right now, what you see now is probably one of the best recruiters and scouts because you see everybody playing all the time, young ladies and young men. So what would you say the state of the game is right now, 2019 and beyond?
Well, the game definitely has changed a lot. You know, you have to officiate a little differently now.
Okay.
We still look for the main things, fouls, travel, all that stuff.
Sure.
But the game is wide open now. It's not a lot of post play anymore. Normal back in the day, you know, you had a lot of post play. It's a lot of
points. We blame that on Steph Curry now?
Steph Curry. Everybody want to be Golden State. Okay. So, like I said, there's a lot of running and pushing the ball, shooting trays. So
it's a lot just like that. You know, Lance, when you get a chance to sit down with a great official as a former college player, you know, what kind of goes through your mind as you think about your relationship with officials and whether it was good or bad? You know, you can't bring up no old stuff, man.
No. I want to know what irritates refs the most from a player.
Well, definitely, we shouldn't get irritated because we left the game. If we talk to a player and let them know what we expect, we shouldn't get irritated. Okay. If you get irritated, you're in the wrong profession.
Okay.
You know, and I think that's the big challenge we have. And I know there's a big push to recruit more officials to the game, whether it's basketball or anything else. But you're a professional, and let's be honest, Claude, you're a man's man. Everybody know how you get down. You're a good dude, well respected. You go hold your own. And I think that as it relates to being intimidated, you're far beyond that. But when you talk about somebody else who may want to get into the game, or they may say, I'll be an official, but I don't want to official games here or there based on certain communities, you know, what advice can you give someone so they can eventually get to the point you are to have that kind of respect and rapport?
Just have an open mind and come in and get the training. You know, don't look at it from the outside. You know, we take a lot of abuse, but we also talk to not hear a lot of things too. So if you ref the game, you don't want to try to get into the fans. You know, you have security pretty much all the gym. So don't get scared about coming to officiate a game, no matter where you go. But it has changed a lot.
Sure.
You know, the fans have got more aggressive.
Sure.
I don't know if that's something to do with the president, but
right.
But they've gotten a lot more aggressive.
Why do you think that is?
I couldn't tell you. This time has changed. You know, like I said, they say different things. They do a lot of different things now. Sometimes we have officials that got hit.
Wow.
But we're trying to get that resolved, you know, with the legislature at the Lansing.
Well, I'm glad you said that because that's a great segue, and I know you didn't know about it, but part of the work I'm doing is with the Youth Sports Coalition, and we're talking about looking at legislation that's really important because as a sports psychology consultant, I may deal with athletes and their issues, but there's probably things we could do on a higher level, so I'm glad you brought that up. But here's one thing I'll say about how things have changed, and I'll kind of blame it on you guys, and what I mean by that is I think when they know that they're coming to an event and the referee is the professional, you're out there, you're clean, you're really focused. A lot of people feel that they can do a lot because they know that you're going to be a professional. Now, I may come in with all my issues from work, from home, my relationship issues, and I come in, I act out because I know at the end of the day, the three officials out there are going to be professionals. Does that make sense? Is that a possibility?
It makes a lot of sense. But we also have a lot of our mind too sometimes, but we have to leave it at the door. We come in to officiate a game. We want to come and get both teams, the fans, the best game. Right. We don't want to get involved in the game. We want to let the players be involved. You didn't come to see the official. You came to see the players.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. We want to be professional as well, so we want to leave everything at the door.
And I'm going to follow up with that. I know Lance has a question. I want to follow up with that too.
Now, do you think a lot of times people forget that there are kids out there playing, they're competing? You think a lot of times people forget that and think more of themselves, being more selfish and taking away from the kids?
Yeah, it's called living their dream. Right. Every parent think their kid is the best on the floor. I don't know how much time they put in, but every parent think their kid is the best on the floor. Every parent think it's a foul. Their kid got fouled. Nobody think their kid ever fouled nobody. So
right, and there's a conspiracy that you came here just to make sure that one team is gonna lose, right?
All the time, all the time. You know, when I walk on the court, I don't care who wins. I don't care if I've known you 20 years or 2 days.
Right.
I don't care who wins. I'm gonna come out and try to give you the best game.
Right.
Officiate the best game.
And I know you do a good job with that. Another question I want to ask you too, because you're basically, a scout because you see all the talent. What advice can you give to players as far as it relates to improving their game and getting to the point where they can have an opportunity like Lance did to go on to Lake Superior State and play? But what advice can you give to players overall just as you see them on a regular basis?
Work on your game. Put the work in, put the time in, and it'll come to you. If it's meant for you, it's gonna come to you.
Sure.
Don't blame it on the ref. I don't like players always. Everywhere I go, you're gonna give me a call. You earn your call.
Right.
Before the game is started, you're gonna give me a call. No, earn your call. Right. If you putting your craft in and working on your craft, it'll come to you if it's meant for you.
Here's a good one, and Lance, please jump in because I'm happy to have Claude here talking about these interesting topics. Because you're human, because you may miss something, because it happens like that. What's the best way to inform a player, even a coach, to deal with the natural element or the natural reality that a ref or the team or may miss something?
Well, to me, I always talk to coach that. I don't like to scream all across the court and hollering all across the court. We all gonna make mistakes. You make mistakes as a coach, I'm gonna make a mistake as an official. But I'm gonna let you know if I made a mistake. So if I made a mistake, it's a mistake. Sure. So, but we are human.
Sure.
But I don't like the coaches and the players. Once you let the coach start hollering all across the court, now you got the players want to holler across the court.
Yeah, they follow up with that.
It's a roller coaster. Then you got the fans, and now you got out of control basketball game.
Sure.
So I just walk over to them and coach, we're not going to have that right now.
Right.
So a lot of times, most coaches around the league, they respect you, so they tone it down.
Well, Carl, you're a fixture here. I mean, people know that at the big game they'll see you, and I think you've worked to build that rapport. So what advice can you give to a young official in the game as it relates to working to build a rapport where they can get the kind of respect that you get, from both coaches, both teams?
Same thing. Work on your craft. Same thing. Work on your craft, and then once the coaches see that you're working hard and try to do your best, it'll come.
Yep. One more thing, and Lance, please jump in. I'm happy to have Claude here and go on. I won't mention where I was at, and I won't mention what individual, but I definitely saw a time where the referee made it about him. I mean, it was clearly obvious. And like I said, I don't even have to mention when and where because there's a possibility it happens. So when that happens, how do you as a person on that crew deal with that? And how is a player as well as a coach supposed to deal with that when the referee is making it about them?
Well, we also have bosses as well. So we can take that to the boss and let them deal with it, And then sometimes it's sad to say that we do have officials that make it about themselves, but that's not how you want to do that. Like I say, you want to be fair to both teams, to the players, and to the fans. So you definitely don't want to make it about yourself.
Sure, so I appreciate that.
If you have an issue, we also have supervisors that we can take it to Malcolm Pennington, Yolanda Little, Bob Chet, just all of the assignments. So if you work in that league, whoever assigned that game, the coach can tell the AD, and AD can get with the assignment, and they can address that issue.
And that process is pretty good with people following up, looking at the video, and just doing that. That's wonderful. Lance, you had something?
So, our coach always just tell us to play through it and battle through adversity. We look at it, at least at Lake State, we always look at it as adversity. I mean, we know we're not going to get every call, and we know we may get some calls. So, with that being said, I feel like a ref making it about itself is just battling adversity for us.
It's not professional. Like I said, you come to referee a game, both teams. Don't make it about yourself. Like I said, when I first started the interview, I was like, we come to ref a game, we're not making it about ourselves. The fans come to see the players, not the referees.
Right.
So don't make it about yourself.
Right. That's wonderful. Well, as we get ready to wrap up, Claude, is there anything else you want to share for the good of the order as it relates to recruiting the next generation of great officials in Michigan or whatever it may be we can share to some people?
Like I said, keep an open mind. If you want to ref, it's a lot of websites, get in as many camps as you can. Like I said, we got some good trainers out here. We got guys just started reffing within a year. We're looking for refs to do high school games right now.
Sure.
And I try to get younger guys as well, because the younger you are, the more you can learn. You got the path to grow.
Bigger window to grow with that. That's true. Well, Carl, we appreciate everything you do. In my view, you are a gatekeeper for the game, you know, because you're going to hold a standard, and you do a wonderful job out there. You're well respected, and you're not the kind of dude who's not approachable, and I think that's really important. So that helps. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing.
Appreciate it.
All right, keep it up. We keep it going.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.